Hi. Thank you for joining us. This is Speak the Truth 2.0, and I'm Cindy. And we're going to be joined hopefully by my son, Elijah. We want to focus on USPS. There was a national day of action across the country, and it seems like the next move of our president and Doge is going to be making cuts at the United States Postal Service. So I think that the public the public should know more about like what's going on because the post office belongs to the people, and it was started back in I think 1775 when Benjamin Franklin, he was the first postmaster general from 1775 to 1776, and it's in your constitution. The post office is a public service to the people. It's not for profit. That's why you have door-to-door delivery without paying a fee. Like if you had something delivered by, say, UPS or FedEx, they are charging to make profit, whereas the post office is not there to make profit. It's for the people, and they are supposed to deliver to every address in the United States. And they said they delivered to like, I think it's 167 million homes 6 days a week, per day, 6 days a week are receiving delivery, whether you live in Alaska, whether you are in Death Valley, no matter where you are, the Postal Service has an obligation to deliver to every address, and it's no fee to the public because it's not federally funded. Is not your taxpayer dollars are not used to support the Postal Service, and that's why the post office sort of goes in debt because they're not supposed to make a profit. It was put in the Constitution as a service to the people. But if they take over the post office, the government, and make it a part of commerce, everyone will not receive delivery. And instead of a stamp costing, I think a forever stamp is now 73 cents, you're going to pay maybe $4 to have a letter delivered. You're going to be charged because then it'll be for profit. Just like if you send a Federal Express, it's like double the price of sending it express mail by the Postal Service. So everything will escalate. So I think that I know the postal workers are concerned about their jobs, but it's deeper than that. That's the only thing that's offered to the American people for the people at no charge to the people. And the only time the Postal Service needed any type of help was during the pandemic, which many businesses needed help at that time, but the post office was essential. So anyway, they did a day of action, and I thought it would be interesting just to hear from some of the postal workers, but most of all, I think it's important to educate people what's going on with the Postal Service. You know, people, like the Bible says, people perish for lack of knowledge. So you need to know what's going on. So like I said, like no one is 100%. I support Donald J. Trump, but Elon has a lot of influence. Doge has a lot of influence. And there's money in the post office. If you privatize the postal service, then they can make billions of dollars off of the people. It would no longer be the people's post office, but it'll be big business post office. They will privatize it and they'll sell it to the highest bidder, meaning you won't have your 6-day delivery, and people, depending on where they live in those rural areas, like that's their only way that they can have medicine delivered to them, or your seniors, that's the only way that they can have packages delivered to them. Because the private companies, they're only going to go where there's profit. They're not going to send a use a donkey to go down Death Valley to deliver mail. The post office is going to, if they have to take a sleigh in Alaska or the Antarctic, they are going to deliver. So anyway, today, nationwide, there was, I think it was a day of action. And these are some of the people.
Reports indicate, and this is according to the union, that the Trump administration is preparing an illegal and hostile takeover of USPS. Now, we had a crew there at this rally. You see that rally at that Park Road location. That's right there beside the Harris Theater, if you're familiar with this area. And here's what one of the leaders of that union had to say in an extended interview. Let's take a listen to it.
president of the Charlotte area local American Postal. We came out to fight the intended privatization of the post office. The administration, Postmaster General Dejoy has invited Doge and Elon Musk in an effort to create a more efficient post office. And what they want to do, they just want to sell off the post office piece by piece, privatize it. We have over 600,000 hardworking men and women that fight every day to make sure your mail gets delivered to you. It's a public institution. It belongs to the public. It doesn't belong to the millionaires. It doesn't belong to Wall Street. So we out here today to rally with each other and to rally the public to keep their post office public. Keep your hands off the public post office. It belongs to the public. It doesn't belong to the millionaires. We service over 130 million addresses every day, 6 days a week. The bayous, the Grand Canyon, out in Alaska, we touch every single household every day. It doesn't belong to the Elon Musk. It doesn't belong to the 1%. It belongs to the public. Keep your hands off of our public post office.
Perfect. I want you to tell me, do you have any more remarks or just anything you just want to talk about today's rally and maybe what it means to not only the world, but the community specifically of Charlotte?
So if the privatization was to happen, it would be devastating on the American people.
Yes.
America as a whole. From Charlotte to the rural America to the West Coast, it would have a devastating effect. They could slow down the mail standards even further, which has been continuously slowed down under this Postmaster General. They could mark up rates of parcels up to 140%. And in the time that we live in right now, to be able to get a letter from Key West, Florida to Spokane, Washington for under $1, we are the most inexpensive option. We're written into the Constitution. We've been here almost 250 years, and we just want to keep doing what we do to deliver the mail to the American people, like we've been doing all these years.
Wow.
Jergens
So
Natural.
that's from a postal worker today. I think that she really summed a lot of it up. Imagine serving every day, you're serving 136 million addresses each and every day. It's the law. You have to deliver the mail. And since this new postmaster came into play, his name is Louis, I think, Dejoy. He has worked to slow down the mail, slow down the delivery of the mail. He's with the private sector, and he came in and he pretty much has worked the post office down. Whereas, say, a letter would take, normally it would have taken just a few days for delivery, 2 to 3 days. Now that same letter that used to be first class became standard mail. Now it takes like 4 to 5 days for the delivery, and that's thanks to DeJoy. When he came in to destroy the postal service. So that's why when people have delivery, like I had to call my post office today. I'm like, what's going on? I said, I don't know, because you have a different carrier. Like, why is my mail seemingly taking slower? And it's not the workers, it's the way that they have cut jobs. They have downsized the services, and this has been done intentionally because this is all to be set up for privatization. But just to be clear, I think that we should. Hi, good morning. Oh, Essence saying hi. He handsome Elijah. I think just to be clear, we need to see who the Postmaster General, who he is. And once you understand who the Postmaster General is, you'll see his role in downsizing the Postal Service. It looks like it was done intentionally. Everything about him, because instead of making the service faster and better, he slowed it down. He got rid of machines to get the mail out faster. He got rid of all that. He destroyed millions and millions of equipment to sort the mail, to get the mail out. He closed up post offices, many post offices. He made HUDs. He did all kinds of things to work the post office backwards. But what people have to understand, what can you get for what is a postage stamp now? 75 cents, 78 cents? But I know it's under $1. There's nothing you can buy to get door-to-door service off the purchase of a stamp. No matter what the weather is. I appreciate their services. I see my letter carriers, no matter what the weather is, they're out there and they're delivering the mail. It could be 105 degrees. It could be below zero. They still have to go out and they still have to deliver. They have to walk on ice, to deliver the mail. And I do believe they work hard, and nothing is perfect. But instead of improving it, if they privatize it, then delivery is not going to happen the same way it is. You're not going to have delivery every day. You're not going to have, like, is people that live in, especially the rural communities, people can't get to them. And if it's not for profit, they will not have delivery. But this is who Postmaster General is.
Louis Dejoy has found himself at the center of a political firestorm, one with far-reaching election implications. Stepping into the role back in June, he implemented a series of controversial changes that has many wondering whether he's part of a deliberate attempt to disrupt mail-in voting during a pandemic, a charge he denies. So who is Louis Dejoy? He was born and raised in Brooklyn, and after graduating from Stetson University with a business degree, he planned to work as a CPA. Instead, he took over his father's small and failing truck business and turned it into a multi-million-dollar logistics company. As CEO and chairman of New Breed Logistics, Dejoy spent decades working with the U.S. Postal Service and companies like Verizon and Boeing. In 2014, he sold the company to XPO Logistics for $615 million, where he served as CEO for another year and change and on the board of directors until 2018. He and his wife have significant financial ties to companies that contract with or compete with the U.S. Postal Service,
Hear that?
such as the shipping company
Compete
UPS
with
and
the
the
post
trucking
office.
company J.B. Hunt, according to filings with the Office of Government Ethics. And while federal records show DeJoy divested his stock in UPS before becoming Postmaster General, he still owns a large equity stake in his old employer XPO Logistics, also a Postal Service contractor.
Right.
DeJoy also donated more than $1.2 million to the Trump Victory Fund, and roughly $360,000 of those dollars were donated in January and February of this year alone,
Of
just
2020,
months before
not
his
this year.
appointment. His dollars have also found their way into the halls of Congress, contributing generously to the campaigns of Republicans in both chambers, including Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who sits on the Senate committee that has jurisdiction over USPS. And prior to becoming Postmaster General, DeJoy was overseeing fundraising for the Republican National Convention. Supporters of DeJoy say his business experience is what the USPS needs to become financially stable. The institution loses billions of dollars every year. Since taking over, DeJoy has eliminated overtime and instructed mail carriers to leave behind late mail and avoid making extra trips. The changes caused unprecedented delays, and the USPS warned the majority of states that the agency will not be able to fulfill mail-in ballot requests before November 3rd, the day of the presidential election. But on Tuesday, he announced he'd suspend the new initiatives until after the election, including reinstating overtime on an as-needed basis. Even so, on Wednesday, exclusive new images obtained by NBC News appear to show high-volume mail sorting machines cast aside in Iowa. They appeared to be out of service and dismantled, despite assurances from USPS that the machines were being reallocated. DeJoy will likely have to answer for such revelations when he faces Congress.
Hey, NBC News viewers.
That right there was in 2020, but that's just giving a little history of who Postmaster General Louis Dejoy. He had, I don't know, there was a conflict of interest because he was with UPS doing business with J.B. Hunt and this logistics company. He was making multi-million dollars off of the Postal Service. So, and then for him to come in as the Postmaster General, and the first thing he did was to dismantle the Postal Service. So a lot of what you see that's going on is because this man, once he had taken office, he changed the standard of mail. From first class mail that takes 2 to 3 days, he made it something like a standard mail that takes 4 to 5 days. You know, so if you privatize the Postal Service, that's the only thing you as a United States citizen that belongs to you. And that's why I feel like it's important for people to know that the post office is the people's post office. It's a service to the American people, and it goes back 250 years when Benjamin Franklin was the first Postmaster General, put into that office in 1775 to 1776. And it's the only the only, I think, business or whatever that's in your constitution. So it's your right. This is something that's given to us. So I think it's something that people need to fight for, not just like say the jobs of these postal workers, because they're going to cut even more jobs. But I'm looking at the effect that it will have on the American people. Why give up? Like, we know we want to cut budget. We know that we want to get rid of wasteful spending, but the Postal Service doesn't operate off of government funds. It doesn't operate over your taxpayer dollars. The post office makes money from your stamps and from products and services. Products and services, not your taxpayer dollars. When you go into a post office, I've never had to pay taxes on buying books or stamps, any products, because it's your taxpayer dollars. It's not tax. Whatever that book of stamps cost, that's the price. Whatever those stamps cost, that's the price. There's no taxes on it. So people really need to be mindful that we're losing so much and so little is giving back to everyday Americans. We went through administration that wouldn't put America first. Nothing about what they did was about American citizens. So we don't want our president to come in and make an illegal move to take away something that belongs to the people. And like I said, I'm not in agreement with anyone 100%. And I'll call Trump out when I'm not in agreement with it, because I'm not going to be like, say, the mainstream media, the legacy media, that they are so one-sided that you can't call people out on things that you don't agree with. And in this case, I don't agree with the move. Like Louis Dejoy, he needs to go because he's never been about the Postal Service. He has stopped and has dismantled the delivery standard of mail to everyday citizens, and people think that it's the postal workers. And I know postal workers. It's not the postal workers. It's the way that management and the government are trying to privatize. And their whole objective is, if you have the public saying, oh, I didn't get my mail. I said that today. Where's my mail at? But I never want the post office to be dismantled. It's not the postal workers. The mail is being delayed intentionally, because mail now is not picked up like it's supposed. It's not sent out like it's supposed. It sits. The mail sits. Because if it's not first class priority mail or whatever the case may be, then they're not going to move it. They're going to let that mail sit. And once they change first class mail to like a standard mail, then they don't have to rush and get it out. And that's why your mail is not coming timely like we would like to. And that's why the American people need to stand up. But you have people at all these different post offices that are out there today, and they're protesting about the cuts of job, and they're saying U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. And we need to, I believe in that. U.S. mail is not for sale. We need to hold on to what we have as American citizens, and the Postal Service has the rates for the United States Postal Service is the cheapest in the world. Believe me, I've done all my research. It's the cheapest in the world. It's the cheapest in the world. You're not going to get this type of service anywhere else.
This is one of the many rallies.
This is all over the nation today.
Across the country today. Postal workers stood up for the work they do and the service they provide. Drivers showing their support Thursday as postal workers and community members rallied outside of the Windsor Mill Post Office. As the Trump administration pushes to privatize the Postal Service, workers say they are not for sale. They say the service is facing one of the most serious threats in its history.
I think what the Trump administration wants to do is privatize the post office, and that would harm our mail delivery a lot. Postage will cost more.
If the Postal Service is privatized, that it would be an increase of 39 to 140% on the public's dime. What we're trying to say today is hands off the people's post office. The U.S. mail is not for sale. We want the public to know that we are, as the Postal Service, we want no tax dollars.
The U.S. Postal Service reaches nearly 167 million residences, businesses, and post office boxes across the country. The Postal Service relies on the sale of postage, products, and services to pay for its operations.
Lisa Ciano is a member of the community who came out to support the workers.
We need a service that is not funded by private companies, that will not cost us a fortune to mail a letter. Privatization doesn't do anything for normal Americans.
Lisa Robinson, WBAL.
Well, anyway, there's a lot going on with that, and I understand there's sentiments that people don't understand when they mention UPS or FedEx. Those are private companies. Try mailing with those companies. They don't go door to door. The only people that go door to door is the United States Postal Service, and they have over 600,000 employees. 70,000 of them are your vets. Those are the vets. Okay, a lot of people that's in the military, they go into these federal jobs. And the post office, I think it's federal, but it's not federal. I don't know how that works. But it's not funded by the government. So if you lose the postal service, you're not going to have the same door-to-door delivery that's provided to you. So when people say, oh, FedEx or UPS, guess what? They charge 3 times, 4 times more than the postal service to deliver a package for you. They charge way more. When you go in the post office, you got to pay tax dollars. Go in there and take a package in the UPS. They deal with packages, and so do the postal service. But go and mail a package with them and see how much the taxes are that you have to pay for that. You get taxed every package you mail with them. If it's $100, $140, you're taxed whatever that tax dollar is. You go in the post office, you mail that same package, but guess what? There's no taxes on it. Yeah.
Kiara's mom said they need to be more respectful to customers. Most post offices I've been to is disrespectful to the people.
Yeah, I understand that. But you got a lot of that. I understand that because I've had my situations, but I'm not going to base on some negative employees about you delivering to my house every day. The letter carriers are the ones out there carrying the mail. They got to go through delivering mail with dog bites. They got irate customers that's looking for their mail, and they act like that letter carrier actually was the one that sent the letter, and he from, say you live in Alaska. They'll blame that letter carrier like he mailed it from California and he took it personally to you. He's just delivering it when he receives it.
Yeah, Mushu, if you were actually listening, we're actually disagreeing with Trump on this.
Yeah, we're not going along. See, we're going to call...
Yeah, they're saying we're 100% brainwashed.
We're not going along with everything that any administration does. I'm not in agreement with any takeover by Trump or Doge when it comes to the United States Postal Service because it's the only service that's for the people. The Postal Service, whether whoever's in office, whatever president, whatever administration is in your Constitution, it's the People's Postal Office. Yes, you do have some postal workers that shouldn't be in customer service, like a lot of jobs. I go into businesses and some of the employees, I had one girl, she was licking her tongue at me. So it's like, I mean, you have disgruntled, you have workers in any business that might not behave the way that they should behave. But, but each job, they should be giving them training how to deal with people. Because believe it or not, customers feel like they could talk to you. Like when you're at work, people feel like they could talk to you any kind of way because you're on the clock. So I've been in line and I've seen people, the customers that curse out postal workers and be nasty to them. So I think it kind of works both ways, but at the end of the day, it's about your delivery. It's about keeping that you don't have to pay $4 for one letter to be delivered to your house. It's about, instead of going from 6 days a week delivery, that they could take it down to 2 days a week. And matter of fact, they can privatize it and half the America might not get delivery, depending where they live, especially in the rural areas. So you need to understand these things. But we're going to cover some of this because I think it's not about the postal workers and them cutting the employees. I think what it's about is letting the people know this affects you. It affects you. You at the end of the day, like when a mailman, you're looking for a letter, you're looking for medicine, you're looking for a package. Now when you get a package that would have cost you $20, now you're paying $60 with taxes for that same package from Amazon to be delivered to your house.
So Nico said UPS and FedEx are way better services.
They don't deliver door to door, do they? They don't deliver door to door. Do they deliver to 136 million addresses per day? I forget. I had looked it up earlier. I forget how many letters and packages. They're delivering maybe 600 million letters a day. I don't know. They're delivering 136 million addresses every single day. Whether you're in Death Valley, whether you're in Alaska, Antarctica, California, from the east to west, all they're delivering everywhere. Does UPS, do they deliver door to door? And do they deliver for, what is a stamp, 75 cents? I don't know if it's 75 cents, 78 cents. I don't know because they have forever stamps. Do they deliver door to door? Are they delivering door to door? No matter what the weather is. They pull up now and then. Once in a blue moon, I'll see a brown truck. I rarely might see a FedEx truck. Okay, they're not going door to door every day, but you know that mailman is coming to your house every day. If you got mail, you know whether he late that day or not, they coming.
Now he said you have to pay to use the postal services.
You don't pay to use the postal services. See, that's why you have to be educated, because you don't know what you're talking about. The post office it does not use your tax dollars. The postal service makes its money just from selling that one stamp, products and services. None of your tax dollars are used for the postal service. And that's why they say the postal service takes a hit and lose money every year, because it's not for profit. But this government knows there's money in the post office. If you privatize the post office, they can make maybe $1 trillion. I don't know. Because then it'll be about the money instead of about you and about the services. And that's what you need to understand. And UPS came way after. The post office has been around 250 years. They do not deliver to every address. So if you're in a rural area and you're used to getting medicine delivered from the post office, they only go in areas for profit. They're not going to Death Valley. They're not going to Alaska. They're not going to Antarctic. They're not going, you're the only farm in 10 miles. They're not going to your house to deliver anything. And that's what you need to understand. So it will be a disservice to the American people to lose something that costs you a postage stamp that you don't even feel. Costs you a postage stamp, and that mailman is coming to your house and he's coming to your door. And that's what the people are fighting for because it belongs to you. And this Postmaster General, he came in with the intentions to slow the mail down. He changed the standard of mail. He got rid of the equipment to sort the mail fast. He disassembled, he dismantled it. That's what he did. He came in because he wants the post office to be privatized. And everybody, see, once things are done, then it's too late. Say, oh, now I get it. Now I'm paying $4 for one letter to be delivered that I've been waiting for. Because people get their medicine, they get checks, they get packages, they get people send everything through the mail. You can send certified, register. You know, it's the safest way to send something through the mail. I've used those services. But I don't want to use something that was afforded to us and it's in the Constitution and we just let it go and it's all about the Benjamins. You get it? All about the Benjamins. So these are the things that's going on. And people are protesting not only for their jobs, but they're protesting to save the United States Postal Service, and FedEx and UPS are private companies. They want to make it private. They make it private. You will not have door-to-door delivery. And they will not go everywhere, and it will not cost you the cost of a stamp. That stamp, you can mail something from the East Coast to the Antarctic for that same stamp price. There's no extra money paid for it. You know, so we got to stand up and fight back, not just the for the postal workers, but you don't want your services to go away. You don't want your services. Let's see, they've been doing this all day today. The postal workers, they've been out there all day today. They called it a day of action. And I know this is not popular. This is not one of my popular videos, that's for sure. But I thought it was important.
150 communities nationwide this morning, they're pushing back against proposed plans to overhaul.
Someone said, I wanted to see your reply to this.
Someone said what?
They said the post office is the biggest waste of of my money. This is wasteful.
You're not paying for it.
It's wasteful as public transportation. Shut it down now.
You know what? I don't know if you're from this country. You must not be from the United States of America. Because why would someone in their right mind say shut something down that's a service to you for, it's like it's for free? I mean, why would someone, you're not paying for it. You're paying nothing for it. Whoever mailed that letter, they only paid a stamp without taxes. You can mail all day long for what it costs to send a letter this way, and you will have door-to-door delivery. So they would change it so that nobody's going to come to your house. You probably have to go somewhere to pick your mail up. Instead of being the convenience of your home. And guess what? They might charge you $20 a week for delivery now, for 2 days a week. They'll give you a mail plan. You'll get a mail plan. Or we'll deliver to you 2 days a week, but you got to pay us $20 or $40 a week for delivery to your house. How does that sound? That's privatization. You're not paying anything. You're not out there in the snow. You're not out there in the rain. You're not out there in the blizzard, hurricanes. You're not out there doing any of it. And yes, things happen. Things don't get delivered. But you got to look at it. Look, how many days of the year are you getting delivery? Subtract 1 day a week, which is Sunday. And sometimes they deliver on Sunday. Sometimes they out there on 7 days a week. So it's like people are not thinking. So don't just rush because you're not paying for this. It's not costing you anything. Did you pay for your mail be delivered today? What did you pay for your letter to be delivered today? What bill did you get? What bill? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like people don't know. And like the Bible says, people perish for lack of knowledge. This is not, I know, a popular video, but I'm doing it because I feel as though that it's important. People need to understand how it's going to affect them personally. Right now, oh, shut it down. They're mean. They're this. But guess what? You still got, however their attitudes are, they still got to do their job. How about that? How about if they don't behave right, you can always report them or whatever the case, like any job. I go in different businesses and people don't behave properly. It's not just the postal service. But guess what? They still have to do their job. They still have to deliver mail to you. They still got to treat you with respect when you go into the post office. If not, they can be written up. I think the trade-off is something that people need to understand. But they understand that this government is about making money. The post office is a money machine waiting to happen. It's billions in the postal service. If they privatize the post, it's billions. Because right now the post office is when you wanted to break even, it's not supposed to make money because it's a service. If they charge you for what they should, then the post office wouldn't be in the red each year because it's a service to you. It's a service. It's nowhere else you can go and have this type of service door to door. We don't have any services like this. But because it's your right, don't give up your right. That's what I'm saying.
You gotta reply to Phoenix because
What?
he's an idiot and he's calling us out.
What?
Phoenix is saying post office is losing money, losing taxpayer money. Then he said the stupidity spread by you is amazing. So look,
you know what? Do you work for the Postal Service? What part of the government do you work at? Because like what you're saying, I'm trying to be respectful because I have articulated, I speak in a clear, concise manner. I have broken it down. Your tax dollars do not support the post office. It does. The post office, once again, is supported through the sale of stamps, services, and products.
And you all can look it up.
Okay? You fact check that. Fact check. So this person is on there. If you want to say something to comfort me, at least know what you're talking about. When do you get a bill having mail delivery? If anybody, tell me who got a bill for having a mail delivered this week. Who got a bill? Who got a bill for getting their mail
What does
delivered.
it mean to be?
Who got a bill this week? And the post office lose money because it's not for profit. If they charge what they should charge, then they would not lose money because it's a stamp and products and services that keeps the post office afloat. You think delivering to Death Valley on a donkey, the post office is making money for that? They're not making money off of what you do. And they don't even use tax dollars to provide you a service. It's called a service. But guess what? You don't have to worry about it. Let them privatize it. And guess what? It'll be no loss. It'll be billions made off of you. Off of you. So all the ones in there tomorrow, oh, they losing money. They losing money because it's not for profit. Do you understand? It's not for profit. It's a service for the American people. It's a service. It's not for profit. That's why your tax dollars aren't being used. That's why they don't, is for not to make a profit. It's not for profit. If it was, don't worry, that they might change that. And then everything I'm saying, you're going to eat everything you said. Because I'm telling you the truth. Post office can make money if they become UPS or FedEx. Those are private companies. They don't deliver anything and they charge you taxes for everything that they do. If it's $80 for that package, you're going to pay taxes on it. If it's $30, taxes. And guess what? I'm going to say it again. They don't deliver door to door. The only United States Postal Service has every address. Do you know what 136 million addresses every day? 6 days a week? And then they deliver on Sundays? Do you know how many pieces of mail? Is 136 million addresses. How many pieces of mail? I forget the number. I had looked it up. It might be, 500 million? I don't know. So people, they're not understanding. You're not understanding. The post office can make money if they charge you. But they don't because it's in the Constitution. It was made to be a service to the people. It's a service to you. Don't lose what was given to you freely. Did you get a bill this week? Did you get a bill for your mail being delivered last week, last month, last year, 20 years ago? Did you get a bill for your mail delivery? Did you get a bill? Where you live? Some people live in rural areas. It's not a house around you, but guess what? That letter carrier, he got mail for you. He has to deliver it to you. If you're in Antarctic, they have to deliver it to you every day. There's against the law to even hold mail. You can't hold first class mail. You have to deliver it by law. Y'all, it's amazing. So that's not something. So I'm not in agreement with Trump or Doge to take over the postal service. Yes, changes need to be made, but you had a postmaster general that wasn't in it for the best interest of the people. He wants to privatize, and he's been dismantling the post office ever since he became postmaster general. He has dismantled the postal service. He has changed the standard of mail. He slowed it down. So then you can complain and say, oh, my letter should have been here. They mailed it so-and-so time. But that was the postmaster general slowed your mail down. So you could thank Postmaster Louis Dejoy for that. He did that. He did that. He did that. Because he changed it. He ordered the Postal Service to change the standard of mail. That's how he did it. He's the Postmaster General. He changed the rules. He said, don't take that mail out. Don't give overtime. Don't go out and deliver late mail. Keep the mail. He stopped the mail from being delivered timely. He slowed it down. And that's when all the complaints and stuff started. And UPS does not deliver door to door. They're not a door-to-door delivery service. They're private. And they do charge you. Go and look at their prices. I have done it. Go look at, say, a 20-pound package, what they would charge, say, from where you live at to, say, going to, say, a few states over or to California. See the difference in price, what the post office charges and what they charge. Look at what the post office charge, say to send something next day delivery. Look at what FedEx, same address. Look at what FedEx charge. You could do comparisons. That's what you can do. As a citizen, as someone that used the mail system, you want to see the difference? Just look at You could Google 20-pound package, USPS, 20-pound package. You know they took the name, United States Postal Service, USPS. And the same destination. Look at the pricing and the time of delivery. You could do your own to see the difference, how much more you will pay with UPS or FedEx compared to United States Postal Service. You can check that yourself. But who wants to lose door-to-door delivery? Not me. Not me. And that's what I'm saying.
The post office on Dale Mabry Highway held a rally this morning with messages like hands off and the post office belongs to the people. More than 50 people took part. You can see video of it here. It comes as President Trump and Elon Musk have proposed moving USPS into the Commerce Department.
Yeah, it's the best bargain in the country.
Business.
That's what I'm trying to tell them.
The post office for the public will be a disaster. They're talking about raising the rates up to 140%.
140%.
And lowering the service for what is a national treasure. And it is something that the public needs to be aware of is currently in process.
He says if privatized, the cost of a stamp could go from 70 cents to $7. There are 1,600 union workers in Tampa and 800,000 nationwide.
See, that's what they're saying if they privatize the Postal Service. That's what could happen. That's what they're looking at. And that's what people need to understand. They're not getting the memo. I'm trying to make it clear that this is not what you want. And you could do your own research with these companies. They say, oh, UPS, they privatize. They new in the game. The Postal Service has been around 250 years. They go to every address. They know how to deliver. And you're not paying, like they say, $7. It could go up to $7. A letter is $7. From a 70-cent stamp to $7. Y'all understand what's going on for real? So a lot of times people shout out stuff that they don't know what they're talking about. And that's the worst thing that could happen when you have people who don't know what they're talking about, and you don't want to lose services like that. Dejoy, like for people who don't know who he is, I showed it earlier. You need to know who this guy is. This guy was from the private sector. He was with UPS and JB Hunt. He was making money off the Postal Service. He had to separate from them companies because it was a conflict of interest. Then he came in and he dismantled the Postal Service to what it is now. That's what he's done. You know, and like I know this isn't a popular subject, but I believe that this is something for the people, and people need to know about what's happening, because you have people shouting out UPS and FedEx and you know, oh, well, this and that about the Postal Service. Guess what? I don't want to lose my services. I can deal with somebody's attitude. Everybody got attitude. People on here got attitude. But I still will be getting my service. Who wants to pay $7 a letter? You know, or not get delivery at all. Or only people with money will have delivery. Because most people are not going to be able to afford it. They're not going to be able to afford to have the delivery. So you want to go from having a free service, because I didn't get billed. The letters have been delivered to my house. I didn't get a bill for it. I didn't get a bill for it. I don't care if it's storming. That letter carries still at the door delivering my mail. You know what? You can't tell me. See, blank, you are a blank. You got the right name. I'm telling you facts. Facts. If anybody knows, but trust me, I know. Okay, I'm telling you facts. I don't know what planet you're from or if you're a United States citizen, because I can't be any clearer about what's going on. You have people on here telling you what's like going on. You have these postal workers that have had rallies and stuff. They're saying what's going on. And let me find, let's see, there's a union president. I'm going to go back to Dejoy, because y'all need to know who y'all dealing with, who this guy really is. Because y'all, some of these people, I'm not even going to entertain it because they just missing the memo. They just don't get it. Like this person, don't even listen to him. And don't use God, because like this is called speak the truth. There's no skin in the game for me. It's speak the truth 2.0. I'm talking about what I know. I know a lot more about the post office than probably the majority of the people might be even on here. And that's a fact. Okay, it's the people's post office. The post office belongs to you. That's a fact. You don't want to lose this service. That's a fact. You don't want to privatize. That's a fact. You don't want to pay these prices. You want delivery for everyone. That's a service for everyone. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, what your income is. Everyone, no matter what, is entitled to mail delivery. And we don't want that to change. So people who are blank or whatever, that have a hard time comprehending, I believe I'm talking and speaking in a clear, concise manner. And don't put God in, because I'm a child of God, the Most High God. And he said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up in judgment, thou shalt condemn. That's my heritage, and my righteousness is in him. This was called Speak the Truth for a reason. Nobody is trying to, I'm just giving you information. This is what I'm giving you, valid information. And this is not a back and forth. It's not an argument. If you don't believe it, fine. You must not be American. Because you must not be American, because who wants to give up something that's a free service to you? It doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. I'm not debating this, but don't put God in it. Don't put God in it, because you don't know who my daddy is. He died for us. And I'm not going to be on here unless I'm speaking the truth, okay? I'm not getting paid to be in a disagreement, but just giving you information is for all of our benefit. And this is for the people, and the people need to know how it would personally affect them. And anybody that's against it, they must not be American. You know, why would someone that's not American, they don't care whether they don't know about the history of the Postal Service and how important it is. It's a service to you. And just like I said, you know, I'm gonna call anyone out. We're not gonna be biased. Like, nobody does everything that everyone likes. Your wife, your husband, nobody's 100% supportive of everything. And I believe that this is one thing that Doge need to take their hands off of, because it's a service for the American people. You're not paying for your door-to-door delivery.
Elon?
Huh?
Elon?
Yeah. We don't need Elon touching everything. The post office is not government funded. Your taxpayer dollars do not support the United States Postal Service. The Postal Service makes their money off of selling stamps, products, and services.
Matt said the post office have been losing huge money.
Yeah.
And things need to change. And then
Yeah, because Dejoy, the Postmaster General, when he came in, Dejoy, his mission was to dismantle the post office. The first thing he did was he changed the standard of mail. Your letter used to be first class. That meant that they had to deliver it within 2 to 3 days. That was law. You had to deliver that mail. But when he changed the standard of mail, that meant that letter could sit 4 or 5 days. He changed it from first class to standard mail. So he dismantled sorting machines to get the mail that was being pumped out like that. He changed all that. He took them out of the stations.
Okay, someone said, okay, you're the expert.
Yeah, I am.
Help me understand who pays the losses.
Yes, I am. Who pays the losses? The post office has to eat it. The post office goes into debt because the post office is not for profit. It's not for money. You're not paying for it. When did you get a bill? Tell me you got a bill from the Postal Service for your deliveries. What bill did you get? Tell me the taxes you paid for the Postal Service when you went into that office and you bought a book of stamps. They didn't charge you any taxes.
People in the chat really don't appreciate the post office.
People only appreciate stuff when they lose it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you only appreciate. See, when something free for you, people never respect free. You know what people respect? When you got to pay a lot of money. Then you respect it. Like when you got paid money, you respect it. But when somebody gives you something, that's in life. Anything that's given to you that you don't work for, you don't respect it. This is free. It's in the Constitution for you. This is a service for you as an American citizen.
Someone said the post office has been delivering the mail correctly. Oh no. They said, lady, the post office hasn't been delivering the mail correctly in 20 years. Stop blaming him for bad workers not doing
Oh, you must be related to him. You must be related. You must be related to him. you know. But how many days were your mail? If you get mail delivered, like out of 365 days a year, minus what is it? 1 day a year, because it's 6 days a week. How many times was everything delivered to your address correctly? People take that one letter, that one incident, and then that's everything. But you didn't even pay for it. You didn't even, what bill have you gotten? You know, it's just amazing. But you're willing to lose something that's your constitutional right to have, and it's the only organizational business that's in the Constitution. Did you know that? That is written into the Constitution? That's because it's a service. It's not, you want the post office to make money. Post office, that's what the billionaires know. They want to privatize. You know how much money they can make? The post office don't have to take a loss. But all they gotta do is stop serving you and be in it for money. Like UPS and FedEx. That's all that has to, and then you'll be happy. Because you rather pay $7 per letter. You rather give up 6 days a week delivery. See that, then you won't say nothing. You won't say, because you like that. You won't say a thing. This is
demonstrating with an extremely urgent message. The attacks on our jobs and the public postal service are coming fast and furious. There are reports that the Trump administration will issue an executive order firing the entire Postal Board of Governors and placing the Postal Service under the control of the Commerce Department, a hostile takeover of the public postal service. If true, this is the most serious attack ever on all of us and the critical service we provide to the American people. Make no mistake, a hostile takeover move would not be about efficiency, saving the public money, or improving postal services. Just the opposite. It's the first step in destroying our national treasure. That's right.
It's a national treasure.
The Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, is a billionaire Wall Street banker who has openly advocated privatizing the Postal Service and turning it over to the private profit of his Wall Street friends. Any move to fire the Board of Governors would be illegal. An effort to remove postal executives would also be illegal. The law is clear. The president nominates members of the Postal Board of Governors, and the Senate confirms them. The Postal Board of Governors and the board alone can hire and fire the Postmaster General. The Postal Service does not belong to one individual, including the President of the United States, or the Commerce Secretary, or billionaire Elon Musk. It belongs to the people of the country, the people we proudly serve every day. The Postal Reorganization Act of 1970 begins by saying, and by the way, that was the act that created the modern post office. It says, quote, "The United States Postal Service shall be operated as a basic and fundamental service provided to the people by the government of the United States, authorized by the Constitution, created by act of Congress, and supported by the people." End of quote. Postal workers went on strike in 1970, not just to win our collective bargaining rights, but to rid the post office of the political patronage and corruption that plagued the system at the time. Since then, we've grown to be the world's most efficient and wide-ranging postal service, a place where millions of people from every walk of life have been able to serve their country and earn a decent living. The Postal Service is there. We are there, no matter who the president is, no matter who leads Congress. We're there to serve the public. 167 million addresses, 6 and 7 days a week, 31,000 post offices in every community across the country.
Hear that?
If this executive order comes down as reported, it's the most serious attack on the public postal service in its history. It's time to stand up and fight back and defend the public postal service. We're asking all our members and families and friends as a first step to call your senator today at 844-402-1001. Let me repeat it. 844-402-1001 and tell them, urge them, hands off the Postal Service. You see my button? U.S. mail was not for sale. Stay tuned for more information and more actions to come. Stay strong. Solidarity forever.
Wow. That was Mark Demonstein from the APWU. And like they did like a day of action. I was trying to find it. But a lot of people were out there fighting for your rights. But I think that instead of postal workers out there, I believe that the public should have been out there. And like someone said on here, that people don't miss something. What was it?
To the well runs dry.
You don't miss your water till until the well runs dry. And that's the truth. Like when you're not going to miss the services and not being charged, people are only happy if they have to pay. That's what people respect. Like anything that's given to you, people are going to fight that. They're going to fight against that. They're like, let me pay. I'd rather pay and get no service, get lesser service. Just like he was saying, the Postal Service delivered 167 million addresses per day. See, do you imagine that? Every day. You don't get a bill for it. You know, the post office takes a hit by it being a service unto you. The post office has to eat that. You know, they have to find ways to make up the money, but it's not through your tax dollars. It's not through your tax dollars. You know, why lose something that's supposed to be a benefit to you? It doesn't, to me, that's why I find it ironic that people will say, oh, like it's no big deal. And something you're not paying for this.
Another story we're following today at 5, dozens of Jacksonville postal workers protested today with a simple request to be able to
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe so they'll go out.
At 5, I'm Anthony Austin.
And I'm Jeannie Blaylock. We're glad you're with us tonight. That protest we're talking about here wasn't just in Jacksonville, it was across the country. You can see this video here. We have members protesting from the union, also in Washington, D.C., North Carolina, and in Iowa.
And they're all against the same thing, the possible privatization of the USPS. Zach Wilcox joining us live from the postal headquarters on Kings Road. And Zach, where you're at right now, that was one of the protest sites today.
Yeah, they need to do a quick Google, that's all.
People out here, each one
Google
of them
it.
either, former postal worker, current postal worker. Some people just support postal workers, but we're talking about folks who have some, not a lot of experience, others with dozens of years working for the post office. And the point that they were trying to drive home is that they view the post office as a service that people depend on, not as a business or business opportunity.
A group that wants to be heard.
As a little girl, I was amazed at how the mailman used to come in, and we lived in an apartment building, and he would put the mail in the boxes really, really fast. And I was like, yeah, I never would have thought I would become a postal worker.
Angela Johnson has spent nearly 3 decades working for the U.S. Postal Service, gaining a new appreciation for how it all works along the way.
I'm in mail processing. I work in the back. So when you drop it off at that counter, we make sure it gets to where it needs to go.
Johnson wants to make sure she can keep getting the mail where it needs to go, helping to organize a protest with the rest of the Postal Worker Union in Jacksonville. The group is concerned by some recent comments made by federal leaders. Doge leader Elon Musk said during a press conference this month he's in favor of privatizing USPS.
Why would we get rid of the postal service? It's part of our lives. When you get a new house or you go to an apartment, you get mail keys, you get mailbox. So why would we want to change that? It's part of American life.
President Donald Trump also told reporters during the swearing-in of a new Commerce Secretary he's looking into folding the USPS under the Commerce Department. The president said, quote, "We want to have a postal office that works well and doesn't lose massive amounts of money." USPS reported $1.8 billion in controllable loss last fiscal year.
Not for sale!
Johnson says the union is worried about what either option could mean for not only their careers, but for folks who depend on the postal service.
It's going to be a big change, especially in the rural areas. I mean, everything is so spread out.
Yeah.
But definitely the elderly with the medications, it's going to be a big change, and you really don't want to see it happen first.
Now, I do want to point out we haven't seen any decisions at this point, any executive orders or anything, and really this is just all these unions
That's right,
across
should
the
be
country getting ahead of
privatized.
this issue, making sure that it's something people are aware of before any decisions are made. In Jacksonville, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.
Yeah. Like, I don't think people know the ratifications. It's easy to talk about something, but you don't miss something until you don't have it available any longer. And people need to know that's not something that we should negotiate. I think that whatever the president does or Doge does, they should keep the post office intact. Yes, they need to fire the postmaster general. Dejoy needs to go because the only thing he has done is lower the standard of your service. That's all he's done. He's dismantled machines to slow the mail up, to sort the mail out. He's closed plants. So a lot of things have taken place since he's been Postmaster General, and it's not been for the betterment of the Postal Service. And that's what the problem is. That usually you'll have someone come in, the CEO or someone, and they're supposed to make life better. They're supposed to use the technology, we have robots, we have AI, we have all kinds of things that they can use to make things better, even during the processing of the mail. But that's not what he wants. What they want ultimately, big business want your post office because there is money. There's billions, it might be trillions of money they could make through the postal service. It's a cash cow waiting to be made at your expense. And that's why I'm on here now. It's not one of my popular videos or whatever. I usually have so many people, we get hundreds of thousands of people on, but I felt as though that this was important.
But
Go ahead.
I believe his account is Real Deal. He said that this is an important subject to be talked about. This is a very important.
It's very important because you know why it's important? Because it affects all of us. It's not like, okay, so you just won't Google and won't fact check. You could Google prices for privatization to what the post office charged. You could check and see that it's self-sufficient. You can Google that. You can find all this out yourself. You never go into a postal service and they tax whatever you buy. You don't get a daily bill or weekly bill from the postal service because they deliver to you. None of us do. And you could live in Alaska and they're going to deliver to you. The Antarctic, they're going to deliver to you. Death Valley, they're going to deliver to you. Okay, you mail a letter from here to Spain, they're going to deliver to you. And at the minimal cost, our postal service is the cheapest in the world. Google that. We're the cheapest in the world. A lot of countries, they privatize and they're not happy with it because now they don't have the services. I think Canada did it. Look at some of the countries that decided, let's privatize. And now they don't have the deliveries. It's costing them 10 times more. They got to go to get their mail. They don't have the services. So we don't want to fall into that. And we want our president to know that it's a public post office. It's the people's post office. And U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. I love that saying. U.S. mail is not for sale. It's the people's post office. It belongs to us. And the only thing about it is that if they dismantle it, because people, like God said, people perish for lack of knowledge, because of those who don't understand, they understand when stuff collapse. Then they're like, oh, that's what she was talking about. Now I got to pay this. See, some people got to learn the hard way.
God bless you too, Keith. Keith said, God bless y'all for speaking the truth and standing up. I hope to God people start listening. In real time said, talk to any long-term postal worker and they'll verify what our host is saying.
Yeah, talk to them. I talk to postal worker. I see. I did my research. All of us can do. You can do your research.
Okay.
Did I?
Tammy said the postal system is outdated and millions in debt.
The post office is only according to the postmaster. If it is in debt, it's because of the service they're giving to you. You want the post office to make profit? Privatize.
They're taking it for granted.
You want the post office, but are you paying for the debt? Did you pay? Do you get a bill? Do you pay? Do your taxes support the postal service? They don't. Just in case you don't Google it, they don't. They don't. So you don't have to have that concern. The postal service don't have to be. They can stop delivering to you. How does that sound better? How about that? How about the alternative? Let's examine the alternative. Say they dismantle the postal service and they get rid of the postal service. What happens to any delivery? What happens to that when they privatize? Now they in it for the money. It's no longer the United States Postal Service. It's no longer the People's Postal Service. Now it's privatized. Now it belongs to Doge, or now it belongs to JB Hunt, or belongs to whatever your name is. It belongs to some other entity. Say that happens. That's the alternative. You get no mail. You get none of this delivery 6 days a week. Now, the post office is not in that. Oh, now the post office is making billions of dollars every few months. Every few months. Post office is a cash cow. There is a lot of money because we're not charging the public. They're not charging you and I. That's what they said. We're not being charged.
Now Tammy has said actually the post office has lost 9.5 billion.
They haven't lost 9.5 billion, but guess what? They privatized. Guess what, Tammy? They can make all that back in a few months. How about that? And forget delivering to you. Forget any delivery to you. That sounds better. And matter of fact, they're going to make that billions and billions off of you now. Now you're going to have what you say. Now that sounds better. So forget 6 days a week delivery. Depending on where you live, hopefully you don't live in a rural area because you're not going to get delivery at all. Okay? They probably going to have some center or somewhere where people got to drive to get any kind of mail. And it's going to cost you. Not only gas, it's going to cost you. And it's not going to be any more boots on the ground going door to door to your house. How about that?
Now Tammy said no need to be rude to me.
I'm telling you the truth. You could call it with facts. Telling people the facts is not being mean. That's the alternative. That for everybody. That's the alternative. Because like people say, oh, well, they have this, that. And, okay, how about the alternative? You get no delivery. And the post office is making billions of dollars. They is a cash cow. And that's why the private sector wants the postal service. Because it's billions they can make. But because it's something that Benjamin Franklin and them set up 250 years ago when he became the first postmaster in 1775, that it would be, they made sure they put it in our Constitution and Declaration of Independence. It's for you. And it's not for profit.
Now Tammy said several family members worked for the Postal Service.
Oh, you don't support them.
And I have heard this from them. Google it and you'll see for yourself.
You know your family members don't work because you sound like you're talking against your very family members that's working for a job to support their families. Like, why would you speak against something? They're not talking against the job they work for. The Postal Service is a cash cow. It can make billions. That's why they want to privatize it. This has been going on for years. It didn't just happen now. It's just that Trump wants to put it part of commerce. The Postmaster General Dejoy was a freaking plant. He lowered the standard of mail. He's the one he's been dismantling the post office. The Postal Service and unions wanted him out years ago. I've been following this for years. They've been wanting him out. He is not for the Postal Service. And if you have any family members that work for it, you think that they want to lose their job? If they dismantle the Postal Service, they have 600,000 employees. 70,000 of them are vets. So now more vets are going to lose their jobs that fought for this country. That don't sound great to me. Okay, these people have houses, cars, they have kids to take care of, 600,000. So if it's 600,000 of them, then they probably taking care of, they probably got 6 more million people be affected. Then the whole United States going to be affected because you're not going to have that delivery any longer. But now that private company is going to make money, but there ain't going to be no door-to-door delivery. Now, but you'll be able to say they making money now. You know, the post office, if the post office charge anything for a service or something, they would make money, but they won't do it. Mm-hmm. They're not going to do it because it's a service. If all they got to do is charge for a service, and they won't be in the hole.
Just like Rob was saying too, that the USPS has to meet its entire pension obligation every year. That's why it loses money.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know what? I forgot about that. I don't know if you can go in detail with that. Yeah, they have to meet that. Like the government somehow, like with the pensions or whatever, that the government supposed to help out, but somehow it's twisted that the postal service is responsible for those pensions instead of it coming. I forget. I really wish I had looked that up, but that's true. That's how they're like not going into debt the way that they have them. And no, they have to put what it is, they have to put the money up front for the pensions. The postal service required to put billions of dollars worth up front for pensions, and no private sector and no other government institution have to prepay for pensions. But that's the burden that's put, thank you, reminded, that's the burden that's put on the postal service. That's where the debt is coming from. They have to prepay in advance.
Okay, Tammy's now saying, why are the postal workers responsible for their own retirement? They cannot collect Social Security benefits.
I don't know. You too deep for me. I don't know. I never heard of that. I don't know about that. What I'm saying is about the privatization of the postal service, and the U.S. mail is not for sale, and it's not something that you want to just lose without a fight. You know, the postal service is the only government agency that had to prepay for pensions, and that's what's causing the debt. If they take that off the postal service will break even. So that's what's going on. That's what the government's been doing to the postal service. And that's why people are speaking up and they're fighting back in regards to it. The people had a day of action because it's not just about the postal workers, but it's about what's going to happen to the. I'm about the public. This is, to me, is about the public.
Sam said it made me
the effects of the public.
Sam made me kind of laugh. He said, what happens when Amazon, FedEx, and UPS figure out last mile? Then there's no need for USPS.
Well, let them figure it out. We're waiting. Let them deliver to 167 million addresses every day. You think they got boots on the ground like that? Really? Really? You can put all them together and they don't have boots on the ground like the Postal Service. Dang. So you're being delusional. They will not deliver to 167 million addresses every day, 6 days a week, and sometimes or even on Sunday. So let them figure, wait for these private companies and look at what it costs you for them. Google it, what it would cost to send, say, a 30-pound package to a few states over. Look at all the different prices and compare. You can go compare prices. I'm talking about the people. I'm not talking about actually the postal workers. I don't want anyone to keep losing their living wage jobs. I don't want any postal worker to lose their jobs. They're needed. I don't think cutting more workers when they've already cut workers, they cut staff, they cut this and cut that, but the Postal Service only take a hit because of the pensions.
And Life is Script said 100% correct, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazon lost their delivery drivers in my area, so they're shipping through USPS.
Yeah, and that's what, because the UPS, and guess what? That's true. And that's another thing. UPS and FedEx, a lot of times they can't do the last mile. And they have the Postal Service take and deliver their packages. And because they only deal with packages. They have them to deliver. They have a contract sort of with the Postal Service because they can't go everywhere the Postal Service can go. So they can't meet your needs. But why lose what's been given to you? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, don't, it's harder to get something back. If they get rid of it, then it's harder to get it back. It's harder to get back a service. So you need to save your United States Postal Service. Why lose a service that's for you? Everybody got something to say.
The state went to raise their voices in Frankfurt this morning.
WKYT's Kelsey Soto's joining us now with a look at their message and their goal. Kelsey. Well, good evening. USPS workers say they want support from their elected officials as well as their fellow citizens to prevent what they call damage to the country's mail service. The $78 billion a year agency has struggled in recent years to stay afloat. The Postal Service announced last week they will work with the Department of Government Efficiency on reform, slashing their budget by billions. Leaders say they plan to cut about 10,000 workers in the next 30 days by offering up a voluntary early retirement program. And that's according to a letter sent to Congress. Back in 2021, USPS cut 30,000 workers. Those marching in Frankfurt fear privatization of mail service will only flame customer concerns.
Yeah, it will. And it's going to happen.
And the billionaires. But the post office was designed for every individual. It's in our
Everybody.
Constitution. It is supposed to be.
People don't hear that. It's in your Constitution.
Whether you're a small business, a big business, whether you're rich, whether you're poor,
businesses rely on it.
Country. But if the current things keep going the way they're going, that's not going to happen.
It will not be USPS.
The United States Postal Service employs
if they privatize, it will not be
people.
USPS.
It's operated independently since 1970. Last month, President Donald Trump said he may put USPS under the control of the Commerce Department in what would be an executive branch takeover.
Yeah, and that's actually against the law. Yeah. See, people like have a lot to say instead of saying, well, what can we do that this doesn't happen? You have rights. Instead of people saying, like, I don't want to lose, like, it's not the best service and there's always room for improvement. How about put a postmaster in office that's actually that has ideas, that actually wants to build, you bring in a CEO to build a company up. How about bringing somebody in to build it up instead of building it down? Why don't we try that? Why don't we try stop having the Postal Service have to prepay for pensions that no other private company or government company has to do? Why put that burden on the United States Postal Service? Why, if you privatize, that's not the answer. Because guess what? You're going to be happy when you pay more money. You're going to be happy when you get less service and you pay more money. That's what privatization is in a nutshell. You pay more money, get less service. That's what you're asking for, something that's given to you freely. Something that you don't pay for. You're not billed for it. Your tax dollars aren't used, and people still can't hear that. I don't know what it is. You have to speak up because silence can't be heard. I'm telling you, I'm speaking up because silence can't be heard. I mean, why give up something that's a plus for you? That Postmaster General, the only thing he did was build it down. He built it down. And I've just been giving different examples, because I felt as though that this is important. This wasn't for like a discussion, like why, some people will learn the hard way. I just wish that they could learn in their own planet by themselves. But all of us are going to be affected. Whatever happens is going to happen to all of us. So that's why I believe in speaking up and speaking out, because some people who don't understand, they only understand when they got to pay for it. Then they say, oh, when they don't have who's going to go door to door for you? They get rid of the letter carriers. They privatize. It's all about the Benjamins. You're not going to get, you're not going to get the same. Some people are not going to get mail delivery at all. And you have people, small businesses use the Postal Service to deliver their packages because it's cost efficient, because they can't afford to mail with the private companies like UPS, FedEx, it's other couriers. I can't think of the names. DHL, I think that's it. But they can't afford it when you have a small business and you got to mail out packages. They'll put them out of business because it costs too much. You're not thinking about small businesses or any businesses. It costs too much for them to mail out quantities or large quantities to customers. But the Postal Service makes it affordable for them to do business, to keep their business going. And not only the seniors and their medications, because FedEx and these other private companies, they don't deliver everywhere. They don't deliver to 167 million addresses. And where they can't go, they try to partner with the Postal Service to do the last mile because they can't go there. but people paid them. They're paying them more money, and then the post office is still delivering the mail. That doesn't make sense. But a lot of people, they don't get it until, I just wish, I don't want to be on that boat. A lot of people don't get it until things happen, and then they say, oh, then they understand. Now you're happy because now you're paying for something that was given to you as a service. And that's when you respect it. And people don't miss it until the well runs dry. And then they say, oh, then you can complain about that. Then now you're paying for it. You're paying triple the amount. And now you're not getting any service. You don't really have anybody to complain to because, like he said, it was 31,000 or how many post offices he said throughout the country? Nobody has facilities like that, and all the buildings and all the boots on the ground like that. So they could do it for profit. They probably are going to dismantle it because it's a cash cow. It's money. It's money in it. But if people on here, if this is an example that something is clearly explained and you still have people pushing back at this, that shows the mindset. Hopefully this is not the mindset of America. Hopefully that people understand that as someone who gets mail delivery, that this is not something that we want. I don't know why people will fight. They like kind of fighting me on it. Like, why would you want them to privatize, which is going to cost you and it's not going to benefit you, and you're going to get reduced services. But the post office will be all right because now all those billionaires and millionaires, and they can make money. There's money to be made. Trump wants money, Doge want money. Postal service is a cash cow. That's just money waiting. Forget servicing the American people. Just forget about servicing American people. Then everybody say, then the same ones is complaining, oh, let UPS, but UPS don't go door to door. They don't go to 167 million. Do y'all understand the numbers? Every day. I forget, like they deliver like 732 million. I don't know how many packages and letters every day to those addresses. What is it? 31,000 post offices or something like that? They said throughout the United States. I forget the numbers. But, it's just insanity. But people don't understand until things happen. And I'm like, this is like whatever they call it. I'm just trying to talk to the public that it's not about as much as it's about the postal workers. I don't want them to lose their jobs. It's a living wage jobs. But why would we lose something, the only thing we have left as Americans? What else do we have that's a free service for us? What other service do the government gives us door to door? To every American, irregardless of your income or your ethnicity or anything. What other service does the government provide to each and every household in America? Tell me. I'm going to wait for it. I'll wait. Where's the ones that's talking against it? What other service? I'll wait for it that the government gives us. What other service? These people out here talking about hands off our public postal service. U.S. mail is not for sale. You have this fake postmaster general that dismantled the postal service and changed the standard of the postal service first class mail. He wanted to privatize. He's from the private industry. That's what he was using companies that was a conflict of interest. He was with UPS and JP Hunt. He came in and dismantled the Postal Service that had the Postal Service had one of the highest approval rating in the country of any government agency. Are you aware of that? The Postal Service. The highest rating of any government agency. And this man came in and dismantled the Postal Service, lowered the standard, and he was making millions of dollars off the Postal Service as a private company. He was making money off the Postal Service. This Postmaster General that claimed he's now finally going to resign. See, y'all need to know what the real deal was really going on. You know, it's a lot going on. I could show it again for people who don't know who Postmaster General Louis Dejoy is, but he comes from the private sector, and he's about privatization, and he wants the Postal Service to be privatized, and he probably wanted people to buy into it. I'm quite sure of it. He's going to resign to buy into it. Yeah, Amazon, anybody could work on it. You think that Amazon going to be delivering to 167 million addresses every day? Do you really believe that? They in the products. You think that, see, people be saying all this stuff. It doesn't, they talking about packages too. That's all. But who's going to deliver it to you? And Amazon costs. You have a package delivered, it costs you to send a package and have a delivery. And they charge more than the United States Postal Service. Everybody keeps on telling you, so UPS, FedEx, those are private companies. They're private. But they're not going to deliver to 167 million addresses. They're not big enough to do that. So they could work all they want to. And they still will need, and guess what? Every one of those companies still need the post office to deliver their mail. But you're paying, it's funny, you go into, it happened to me. You go into FedEx, and you pay in them 3 times more than the Postal Service, which I've done, and then it's delivered by the post office that you could have sent it for cheaper and still had the same delivery time. But people perish for lack of knowledge. That's what the word says. And it's true. And I'm just giving you knowledge and like what's going on. And I just think that it's something worth fighting for. I think it's the People's Post Office. U.S. mail is not for sale. They have to pay a stamp, the price of a stamp, or a product and services. Your tax dollars are not being used. You know, the post office, yeah, they lost money, but because pensions, because it's the only agency, whether it's private or secular, the only company that have the prepaid pensions. They have to pay, I think they say like $5 billion a year. I forget the numbers. The only agency that's required to do that. And that needs to stop. I forget what president actually made that a law. I don't know. I forget who did that. But that's why the post office takes a hit, because of that nobody else has to do. Nobody else has to do that. What other company has a prepaid years in advance for pensions? Nobody has to do that. But the Postal Service has that burden. You know, so if they remove that, then there would be no loss or no, thing with the budget. But as far as services to us, we don't get billed. We don't get a bill every week. And they deliver it to you no matter what the weather is, no matter where you live at. Amazon, UPS, FedEx together can't do what the United States Postal Service is doing. And that's just common sense. I'm using they all together, and they won't do it because they're about the Benjamins. They're not making money delivering a letter for you, to you. And plus, if they did, it would have to be $7. Like they said, it's going to go up 140%. Like it'll be $7 for that letter because it's about profit then. Do y'all understand that? So we don't want that to happen. That's all I'm saying. We don't want that to happen. And you got to support your postal service. You got to let President Trump know the U.S. mail is not for sale. You don't want him selling off our post office, or let Doge get a handle on it, because it belongs to the people. That's something that belongs to us. That's our right. We have rights. That's our right. And we don't want them to take away the only thing that the government does for every citizen. Do y'all understand that? The Postal Service is the only government service that every American citizen benefits off of, regardless of your income, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of where you live, regardless of anything. That's something for us. That's the only service that all Americans, anybody that's in this country, all of us benefit. Whether you have a natural citizenization, you have an address, you get the same equal service. And that's the only thing we all get. And you take that away, what other service do the government provides for every citizen of the United States of America? I said I'll wait for it. So don't just let it go. Don't just lose it. You know, respect the Postal Service. Call your congressman. Let them know that U.S. mail is not for sale. That you want. I want my Postal Service. I look for my mail every day. I want my delivery. When it look like my mail, like where my mail at? You know, oh, I'm expecting this letter. You know, I didn't pay them. I didn't pay even for that stamp that somebody mailed it to me. So, you know, I want my service. And I like that I'm not getting billed for it. I like it only costs a stamp to mail a letter. I like that we have the cheapest post office in the entire world, at least the most, efficient post office and the least expensive. I like that we get door-to-door delivery. That we could just go to I enjoy I enjoy my services. I'm sorry, I enjoy my services. Yes, sometimes you have to put up with a little mean worker sometimes, but that's in all businesses. I've been in different businesses and people act up wherever you go. But that don't mean I want to lose my postal service. And no, I don't want to pay UPS the price, because I do y'all research. You can Google prices. You pick any pounds. Pick 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 20 pounds, 10 pounds. Same package from your address being mailed to whatever destination, and look at the difference. Look at the different charts, the different prices from UPS, FedEx, Amazon, whatever, and look at what the post office charges. Look at the difference. You could look at the difference. And the United States Postal Service, you mail with them, if it's $40, you're going to get that sales tax on tax. That's going to be on top of it that might not show up. Because they all charge a sales tax, not the Postal Service. If it's $10, it's $10. If it costs $35.40, it's $35.40. There's no sales tax on it. You're not being taxed whatever you buy in the Postal Service. And those are facts. So anyway, yeah, for the people that pay anything, but when it comes to commercial accounts, UPS is banking. Please believe me, real world experience and research. Yeah. It's okay, but the post office is focused on door to door. It's privatization, but it's like people say what they took or whatever, but you're paying for it. Some people, the way some people are, they want to be broke. They want to pay more. It's like they're not happy and they're not getting better service. You're paying more. You're not going to get everyday door to door. That's what I'm trying to drive home. There's enough package delivery for UPS, FedEx, Amazon, whoever. It doesn't matter. But nobody's going to door. And yes, the Postal Service still delivers for them as well. Even if you have a P.O. box in a UPS store, that mailman has to take the mail to the post office boxes that they're selling to you, and the mailman has to deliver to those P.O. boxes in UPS. So it's just crazy. But, people have to do their research. They have to find out. Those are private companies, and they do charge you. They charge you for everything. They charge you up. And, you're not getting mail from these companies every day. You don't get a package from UPS every day. You don't get a Federal Express from FedEx every day. But you get mail delivered to you every single day. Every day. And you're not being billed for it. You're not paying a high cost for it. I don't think people are hearing that. It's your right. It's a service to the people. It's the people's post office. So I don't know. There's nothing else that I can say. You guys don't forget, I might just put, they have a number that you can call your senator, and you could tell them USPS is not for sale, that you want your public post office. It's a service for you. Don't just give it up. Don't find out the hard way. Don't find out. You see, in life, I always like, even growing up, I was like, just tell me. I don't have to go through everything. I've always been the type of person, just let me know. I don't believe you got to experience every hard thing in life. Just let me know. You know, you don't have to learn the hard way. Don't just give something freely away that's a service for you. But the number that people can call, they had call your senator at 844-402-1001. 844-402-1001. You could call your senator and tell them that you like having your mail delivered every day. You like the cost of stamps. You don't want to lose your services. It's your constitutional right. You don't want the post office to be privatized. Then what will you have? What will you have? You'll have higher prices, lower standards, and perhaps maybe some people, they're not even going to have delivery any longer because those private companies are not going to go to rural areas. Some people that, you know, they're out and, you know, really in the rural areas, there's nothing there. And nobody's going to go out there to take them their medicine, deliver it to them. Some people depend on delivery of food. The post office is delivering food. They're delivering all kinds of things to people that don't have access. Like, say you're in a city or you're in a community that you have delivery, but there are places that people don't have the convenience that you have. And without the postal service, I don't know what they're going to do. They're not even going to be able to afford to have, and those companies are not going to go there. They're not going to go to, do y'all understand what 167 million addresses on a daily basis? And if it's 167 million addresses, I forget what the parcel and the letter delivery rate is on top of that. So, you know, you got to be careful. Trump can be called out if he's wrong. Yeah, he can be called out. I support Trump. And like I said, when I did Speak the Truth, that I'm going to call him out as well, because we would be no different than the mainstream media. And we would be no different, you know, than the legacy media that they always so one-sided. You know, he's done a lot of amazing things, but he's going to be called out also on things we don't agree. And he has other people in his ears. You know, Elon, he's good and he's not good. You know, I like that he's finding ways, but I don't like him just doing a big sweep of federal jobs, because some of those people are needed. And I believe that the managers and supervisors who are doing the job, they know where the cuts can be. They know how to downsize. And I think that that was just one stroke is the wrong way, because Americans want more opportunity. He came in and took away living wage jobs, and I don't think that was cool. I'm not in agreement with that. You know, I like the waste, you know, cutting the waste and the things he's finding. But you know, don't take away. We already had the past administration that didn't put America first. Now we're talking about more American jobs and more cuts and people losing jobs. We already been losing jobs and stuff. So I think they need to take their time with this and really look at continuing a service for the American people. And he can be called out, even though I do support a lot that he's doing, you know, but I'm going to call out what I'm not in agreement with. And nobody should be in agreement with everything someone does. Some things aren't good. And that's how life is. And he's no different. But I do believe he's trying to do the best he can. But he got to ring some of these other people in when they're like pushing him to do things or trying to get him to do things that's going to be more harmful. You know, like, we're about the money, but everything can't be about the American people. Already have lost too much from the last administration to come in, and the people that's being affected the most are American people. You know, so it has to be some sort of balance. People want to hear, you know, about good stuff right now. We don't want him coming in office. He's only been in office 2 months today. Is it 2 months? Yeah, I think 2 months today. We don't want him coming in office and it's all like people just losing, American citizens are just losing jobs. We don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah, you have to think about the welfare of the people that's being served. Elon doesn't care. They say he's the richest man in the world. He does not know what it means to lack any good thing. He can have anything he wants. He can buy. He's sending rockets up to rescue astronauts. That's okay. That's amazing. But what about the people down here? You know, he's not concerned about the effects of the people that, you know, lives, when he's abolishing so many jobs at once. Like, you can downsize. Maybe you need to downsize. Let the people that are working in these positions, they can look at it and they can see, okay, well, we can get rid of 10 here jobs. We don't need that. But to just wipe everyone out, no. And then they got to call people back, because then they find out, oh, they work for the nuclear department. We need them. Oh, don't touch the Pentagon, or don't touch this. So, because you can't just do it like that. But the Postal Service is the only thing I think the government does for all of us, and I'm not willing to give it up. So, like I said, U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. It's the People's Post Office. And no, I think like the union leader, Mark Demestein, he explained it really well. And I believe that like, just to know the history of who Dejoy is, he worked the post office down. He took away instead of building up. He was most definitely not a good postmaster general. You know, well, anyway, yeah, so he does have a number, you know, American Postal Workers Union, and then they have the NALC, the National Letter Carrier Association. They have the mail handlers. They have rural carriers. I'm just looking at it, reading it. But they have different divisions, and like the letter carrier president, and they're all speaking out as well to what's happening. And you have some congressmen and representatives that are fighting for the Postal Service. But I believe the people have to fight, not just the postal workers, but the people. This is about the people. I believe it's the People's Post Office, and you have to stand up for what's yours, or when it's gone, it's gone. And it's nothing, once it's gone, it's going to be too late. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. I didn't expect this to be popular. My son said, oh, why are you doing this? Nobody really wants to hear it. I said, but some things are really important. And this is a channel is about, not as much about views and subscribers as it is about speaking the truth and getting information out. You know, and this is something, the only government agency that's for all the people in this country. Everybody. Everyone that has an address. Whether you live in an apartment, a rural area, you can live in the North Pole. Guess what? The North Pole they receive deliveries of their mail. I heard that in Death Valley, they use a donkey because to try to get to addresses, that they got to use a donkey to get mail to people. I mean, this is crazy. Like, they do a lot getting your mail to you. And I think that people are going to be hurt. Not the people that can afford it. They're not going to be hurt, but it's the people that can't afford to pay $7 a letter if they privatize. They can't afford not to have any delivery at all. You know, so those are the people. Hi, Cindy's son, Elijah, everyone. Hi. How you doing, Elijah? Yeah, that was those things. Yeah, they brought back. Yeah, okay. NALC, Mail Handlers Union. Yeah, it's a lot of different unions. I was trying to find the other presidents and people that's for the NALC, because I know all of them are speaking out, especially the letter carrier union. They're the ones that's boots on the ground. They're the ones that's out there. The people inside are processing the mail and sorting the mail, but the carriers are the ones that's out on the street. And we want to make sure that, we don't just give something away because of people not understanding the ramifications of losing something like a postal service. Like I said, you don't want to lose something, and you only, a lot of times people only miss it when it's gone. Yeah, you must experience pain before you can experience gratitude and what salvation. We as a society need to go through these steps in order so that we can share with our children. Yeah, it's like, but I just hate that people that don't understand, they drag all of us down with it. I already know and can see. Well, if we lose this, then we lost. There's no other service that's from the government that's given to every American citizen. This is a public service for us. It's been going on for 250 years since Benjamin Franklin. He became the first postmaster general in 1775 to 1776. And they put this in the Constitution, and it's not for profit. And the only reason why the post office takes any type of hit because it's the only government agency, and no private agency has to prepay years into a pension. That's why they say the post office lost money. It's not because of we're not making money off of the services. It's because of it. It's because of this pension that's required, this prepaid that's required of the postal service. Oh yeah, subscribe. Yeah, don't forget to share, like, subscribe. You can leave your comments. You can let me know how you feel about the postal service. Do you want to lose the postal service? Do you just think that, oh, this is something I don't want? I don't want everyday delivery. Some people will fight against their best interests. I don't want everyday delivery. I want to pay more money. And you think those people are gonna be nicer? You're not gonna get door-to-door delivery. You're gonna pay, they said it's gonna go up 140% if they privatize. 140%. 140%, and not delivering to you every day. You might not get any delivery. I don't think that that's something that, like they just said, people got to learn the hard way. I just wish it wouldn't happen to all of us, because the public post office is for all Americans, and not just Americans. Anybody living in the United States of America, they're entitled to have mail delivery to their address. So it's for all the people, we the people. But you got to let your president know. You got to let them know, like, take your hands off of this. We like this service. Yes, it needs improvement. How about they come together? You got someone like Elon Musk, who's supposed to be some sort of genius, and you have all these intelligent people, and they got AI now. Why don't they come up with something to make it better? That postmaster general, he came in, he dismantled the machines that was sorting the mail. Like they said it was like 10,000 letters, say, per minute. He got rid of that. He dismantled, he slowed the mail down. And first class mail was 2 to 3 days. Then he made it standard mail so the mail could sit. Before, like, first class mail, it was against the law to let that mail sit. He changed it, and intentionally will have mail sitting in a post office. Intentionally. Because they tried to privatize it before with Staples. So they're gonna try it again. But don't give up your rights, people. Don't give up your rights. Don't give up your rights. Don't give up the right to have your mail delivered door to door. Some people, no matter what, you know, misery loves company. They just, no matter what you say, as long as they paying and for it, getting less service or no service, then that's what make them happy. They like struggling through life. If it's free, when things are free, people don't respect free. Your kids don't respect stuff unless they earn it. So people don't respect stuff until it's gone, until it's too late. And then they say, oh, well, now we don't get any mail. Well, where's my mail? Who's going to deliver my mail? Oh, it's no more postal service like that. Only unless you're going to pay 140% more for that letter. Oh, we privatized now. That's what y'all wanted. So people, but I just wish we all, like people like myself, I could see it coming. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. I want my 6 days a week delivery. That's what I want. I want to go to my mailbox. My mail is there. I don't have to worry about the weather. I don't have to go get my mail. They bring it right to my door. I'm pampered like that. I like being pampered. I like my mail coming right to my house. That's something that the government is doing for me. And I appreciate that. So let's make Europe pay for our postal service. In return, using the service is probably, well, I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, you guys, now I'm good. It's just like, you're trying to convey stuff to people. Nah, I ain't gonna let my blood pressure go up. It's real good. 120/80. It's just that, like, when you're trying to, it's just in my spirit, God, like, I'm a helper. I'm a servant of God, and like when God put passion in you, you want the best for people. And that's why I go in and I go hard, not just this, but every time I come on here, that's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, I'm gonna get Elijah, someone wanna say hi to you. You got your hat on. Remember you just made her monitor?
Hey.
Please be respectful. Yeah. Just got here. Yeah. What's your stance on all this? Well, you guys got to rewatch this video because I'm about to bounce off of this. I said everything I could say in regards to it. But it's good content. Y'all can leave out, like, you leave any questions or whatever. I've been doing my homework. Y'all can Google, fact check, and look everything up.
So what Keith said?
What? No.
He said, you are important. Your voice is important. It's people like you that create these chat rooms on YouTube to get people thinking and pull their heads out their butts. Mad respect.
Oh, thank you. Let me do. Yeah, love you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It's like God put this in my spirit to even have this channel called Speak the Truth 2.0, is because you need people to be authentic, no skin in the game, and just really care, about people and what's going on. So what I do it because of God. I don't serve man. I serve Jesus Christ. I'm not with the blue. I'm not red. I'm a child of the Most High God. And but I lean more now with the red because I believe that is more. The Republicans follow more of my biblical beliefs. I don't believe like in abortion, same-sex marriages, and men and women sports, and on and on and on. No, God's not in that. But I don't serve man. I serve God. And I just want everybody to be blessed. We're on here blessed to be a blessing. We just hope and pray that all is well in your households, because everybody be going through something. And sometimes it's refreshing to hear someone that's speaking life into them. I'm trying to speak life into you, trying to speak truth into you, to let you know both sides of what could be the alternative if you don't care, if you don't use your voice, if you don't call your senator saying U.S. mail is not for sale. That's the only service we have as a people of this nation.
Real Time said, thank you for a great and most informative stream.
You're quite welcome. I saw them out there protesting today. I said, I'll just do, and this is not one of my best subjects. People I knew my son said, don't do it, Mom. They're not going to be interested. I'm like, I have to, because it's not about that. You have to care.
Keith said, where's your son at? I liked when he was around and reading comments.
Here he is. Yeah, he's my comment reader, because I don't like to be all up. You got to be all your face. I'm like, I hate that. You see people, they like all up on the screen. I'm like, I'm staying right back here. Y'all ain't going to be something, darn, she all up there. But yeah, my son, he'll read the comments and stuff. Amen. So yeah, I love all of you guys. I wish you the best.
I love you.
God is good. Like, we've been back to our saying, but we'll call Trump out just like we call the left. We're not going to do everything. Nobody is perfect. And what we aren't in agreement with, let your president know. You got to pray for him. Nobody is perfect. And let him know this is something that, why give it up? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll let him know who's the wrong people around him.
Yeah, because some people around him, they don't care. It's all about the Benjamins and not about the American people. This is about the American people, and it will affect all of us, not some of us. All of us will be affected if they privatize, because nobody else delivers to 167 million addresses per day, 6 days a week. And the packages, I wish I had, I might, if I do a screen tomorrow. I might even give the numbers of how many packages and letters are delivered to 167 million households per day. And the post office does the last mile because UPS, Amazon, or FedEx, they can't deliver. They don't have boots on the ground like the Postal Service. They don't go everywhere because there's not money in it for them. And that's what will happen with privatization. If they're not getting the money for it, they're not going to deliver to you. So you just be, you know what the saying is, out of luck.
Is that how many packages does USPS deliver a day?
Yeah, how many?
They deliver 23.5 million packages every day.
Okay, my son looked it up. So USPS, the United States Postal Service, that's just packages. That's not even the letters. But they delivered 23.5
million.
23.5 million packages per day the United States Postal Service delivered to 167 million addresses. But that's not the letter count. That's just parcels.
And they process 3,600 pieces of mail each second. Wow.
Yeah, and the post office processed 3,600 letters per second. So there's a lot, but that's not including the letters and stuff to all those addresses, because I know the number is phenomenal. It's like really up there. You know, that's just like the parcel count. But as far as pieces of mail, you know, it's more. But you guys can Google that. Y'all can find out. But it's a lot.
Oh, including everything. Daily volume is 318 million.
Okay, including, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Including everything, is that per day?
Yeah, per day.
Including everything per day, drum roll, zzz, the post office delivers 318 million pieces of mail per day to 167 million addresses. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that in the back room? You hear that in the choir stand? 318 million pieces of mail per day to 167 million addresses. Nobody can touch that. You can put, like I said, you can put Amazon, you can put FedEx, UPS together. They're not able to do what the Postal Service can do because it's been established for 250 years. They go to every nook and cranny. Nobody has the capacity and the routes that they have already laid out to be able to deliver to everyone like that. Yeah, that's cool. God bless. Yeah, God bless. We got to pray for Donald Trump and take his hands off the Postal Service. Well, anyway, you guys, we're going to jump off.
And Elon must be stopped.
Yeah, Elon must be stopped.
Like Rice gonna say.
Elon, you do good, but some stuff you need to just take a back seat because you got to leave something for the American people. You can't just take everybody's jobs. You know, everybody already went through that past administration that put America last. You had to be living from another country to get any kind of services or have a war. But if you was an American citizen, it was nothing. Hey, it was nothing for you. Yeah, you got nothing. So we don't need Elon coming in with his Doge. And now you're wiping out the American jobs. Oh no, come on now. So yeah, pray for the president. God bless President Trump. You know, we just pray in the mighty name of Jesus that he has discernment and he seek God for wisdom. He got to ask for wisdom, that he makes wisdom decisions, and he's trying to do right by the people, but he has to take in consideration that these are living wage jobs and it's the middle class to keep you going. Oops.
See, that's what I do sometimes. I don't know who he's talking to. See what Keith said?
What? No. And that's exactly why. I love you. Yeah, I love you back. God is so good, but you gotta you gotta pray for people and you gotta pray for this nation and that they do right by us. And, that's, every 4 years, if you don't like what's going on, you can vote somebody else in the office. But meanwhile, you got to support who's in office. And I do believe he's trying to do the best he can. But some of the stuff, he's just going to have to take another look at it. Have a blessed day. Evening, Cindy. Son Elijah. Yeah, she said have a blessed day. God bless everyone that was on here. But we're gonna jump off. It's getting kind of late right now. You know, I just had to do this. My son was like, "Mom, nobody wants to hear this." But I was like, you know, you gotta let people know it's important. Well, you think it's important now?
Yeah.
Why you think it's important?
Yeah, and why? Well, first I'll say why I was saying that. I didn't think this many people were against the post office.
Look, he didn't say it louder.
I didn't think this many people were against the post office. Is why I was saying that. Like, but I'm seeing that a lot of people are against the post office.
Oh God, help us all. You know, you didn't know. You was like, don't do it, but you didn't know it's gonna be all this pushback.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it's gonna lose the service. You know, like people miss things when they gone, and
they're thinking too that they're thinking too that UPS and FedEx does the same thing.
They don't do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're misguided. They don't do the same thing. They don't. You know, but you will soon find out. I just wish I don't want to have to go through it with you. That's all.
Yeah, and they're thinking that we pay for the post office.
Thank you, Keith.
You hear me? And they're thinking that we pay for the post
that
office.
We pay. Yeah, people think that we pay for the post office, and y'all not paying nothing, not a darn penny. You don't pay nothing for the service you get to your house every day. Okay, you guys, so I'm ready to jump off. The people that's on here would bless us, like, so it go out. Like, if we had more people to join in, it would have went more out to the algorithm. If y'all could just hit the like, share, and subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the postal service. Like, if it goes away, what would be your alternative? Are you willing to pay 140% more for your letters, like from 70 cents to $7 a letter?
Blessing to you as well, Sue. Someone said they gotta be trolling. They said, "Kamala forever, open borders and gay pride."
Yeah, they trolling.
Yeah, they gotta be trolling.
God bless you. God bless you. The election is over. Trump won. He won. There's a new sheriff in town. We love you guys.
I was say abortion too.
Oh yeah, you forgot abortion. How you forget abortion? Well, look at that. Safe sex, abortion. God bless you all. Thank you for joining us. We just pray that all is well and that God goes before you. He said, beloved, above all, I wish that thou may prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So we just speak blessings over you guys and pray that you have a good night's sleep, sweet sleep. And we pray over your family, your children. God said, train up a child in the way you should go, should not depart. So train your children up in the word of God. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, comment. I do look at the comments. We could go more in detail because I refuse to be up on this screen trying to read them comments from a distance. That's what Elijah is for. He don't care, you know. But God,
Real time said, "Love you."
Love you back. Love you guys. Love you. We love you. We appreciate you guys. But depending, well, we're gonna jump on here tomorrow, and you know, we'll be back. But we're gonna call Trump out too. We most definitely gonna call Elon out.
No problem, Keith.
You know, so
yeah, Elon must be stopped.
He keeps saying that. Yeah, we're gonna call him out. You know, but that's how it should be. Call out those in authority over you. You know, call them out.
Said, "Thank you for this and God bless."
God bless you guys. Look at her just say that.
Yeah, it's trolls coming.
Yeah, it's okay. God loves you. God loves you. And so do we.
Their username.
What is their username? I can't see it. Okay, well, anyway, God bless you. I got to get off. It's time to just relax. Have my chamomile tea. Some people have wine, but I don't drink, so. But God bless you guys. And we're going to jump on here tomorrow. But like I said, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, they're saying they're agreeing with us. I guess they were making a joke.
Okay, love you. Yeah, we love you. You know, God is good. That's all that's important. That God is good and he's watching over us. Okay, you can go ahead and hit that in. Don't forget to hit the notification so when we come on, you'll get the notification bell. Love you.